Hello, beloved soul siblings and empowerment seekers. My name is Kristen Brown. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am a spiritual and empowerment author, healer, and mentor. And today I want to talk to you all about what to do when you're dealing with that narcissist or that narcissistic type person who is never going to take responsibility for their behaviors. If you've been in this situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because at first we, as the deep feelers, as the soulful people, we want to move forward in our relationship. We don't want to stay stuck. We want to heal what's going wrong. We want to have conversations with them. We want to try to get them to see the light. And we want to try to equally get both of our needs met. But at first, when we're up against this type of person in our life, where we start to try to have these healthy conversations and interactions with them, we'll start to notice that it really never goes anywhere. It kind of spins in a circle. It's like a repeating loop where you'll say something that is very truthful and honest and can move and shift the relationship, but somehow they won't attach to that thing. They'll go over here out into the ethers and either avoid what you're saying, deflect what you're saying, or they're going to make you wrong. Now, this can be I got a hair, you guys. I don't know where it is. Here it is. This can be very, very mind effing. I have dealt with my share of narcissistic type people, and I will tell you that sometimes I walked away from that interaction like, what the bleep just happened? Because I'm a very logical person. I'm a very centered person. And I'm also a super intuitive person. So I am someone that will come into a relationship and want to have really healthy exchanges with the people that I am with. I'm also somebody that will take responsibility for my behaviors. Yet that never happens when you're dealing with somebody who has narcissistic type tendencies. And over time, this can wear on us really bad. So to stay in this perpetual cycle with this type of person is only hurting you, because you're not going to win with a narcissist. The only time that you will possibly get a win is when they're trying to manipulate you somehow. They're going to give you just enough to think that they're moving and shifting and morphing and kind of getting it to keep you in the situation. But then you will notice that that piece that they owned, that they said they're going to change and they're going to do better with, it never happens. And then now you're starting to feel even more crazy because you trust them and you believe them, and then they're not doing it. So you bring it back up to them and they do the same thing. They deflect it, they ignore it, they change the subject, or they turn it around on you. This can be absolutely crazy making. And if you're dealing with this right now, my heart goes out to you because I know how this feels. But I've learned a few things about this that I want to share with you, because I'm a solution-seeking person. I don't want to avoid things. I don't want the quick fix because I know there isn't one. So these things that I'm going to be sharing with you are going to take practice and consistency, because the most important person in your life is you. So stop trying to get that narcissistic type person or unhealthy, unhealed person to see your way. So the first thing that we can do is to stop sparring with them. That means fighting with them, going rounds with them, repeating the loop over and over and over again. I decided at one point when I was dealing with this, I was like, okay, why am I continuing to try to talk sense, to have these conversations when they go nowhere? I mean, there was times when I was in 8-hour conversations with this type of person and it never went anywhere. I was wasting so much of my valuable time and energy trying to get them to see the light. Remember, when it comes to a narcissistic type individual, at the root of them, they feel shame and unworthiness. So by getting attention from other people, whether it be good attention or bad attention, that is how they get their fill. So really what you're doing is you're becoming a supply to their emptiness, because they're happy as a clam sitting there and just arguing with you because they have attention coming to them, even if it's negative attention or not healthy attention, because they want to be the center of attention. They want attention coming to them. So when you continue to stay in that cycle with them, you're actually feeding the beast. So one of the things that I did is I stopped sparring. The minute that a conversation started to go awry, I said, I'm not doing this. And I would move myself from that situation. Now, a lot of times we're going to hear people say, narcissists can't heal, narcissists don't want to heal. And I do not agree with that absolutely whatsoever. It does depend on where the person is on the spectrum of narcissism. It does depend on how old they are, their level of awareness, and their want or desire to keep you in their life. Some narcissists could give a hoot. They don't care if you leave. But some, there's a part of them that really doesn't want you to go. But what I noticed is when I started to pull myself out every time, and I'm talking consistency, and it was really hard because I wanted to engage. I was still in that mode of wanting to try to convince them and show them the logic, the morals, the ethics, the capital T universal truth, the psychology behind what they were doing. And they were not going to own it. So I had to be very, very disciplined with myself. And I had to tell myself, if this starts up, you're going to pull out of it. And what I noticed in my situation, and this may or may not happen for your situation, was that over time, my narcissistic type person realized that they were not going to get my attention if it was going to be in a negative, dense, and lower vibration capacity. And because they wanted my attention, they started to approach me differently. Again, this is not the case for all of them, but the bottom line is narcissistic type people are just wounded human beings. And we have labeled their set of behaviors. And where people fall on that spectrum is all over the place. You could have someone that's just a little bit there or someone that's a lot of bit there. So I can't sit here and tell you guys how this is going to go for you, but I can say that you need to protect the most important person in your life, and that is you. Remove yourself from the constant, repeated loop of sparring that's not going to get you anywhere. And the next tip is to pull your energy back from them. What I mean by that is a lot of times we'll get a little headway maybe with them, or they calm down. So we go back to normal. We go back to doing all the same things that we're always doing with them, which makes them feel, oh, good, nothing happens. There's no consequences for after I behave like this. And if you have children involved, this is a really tricky situation because we want to keep peace in the household. So we're like, okay, let me just make this household really calm and really good and just go back to normal and forget that that happened and just keep going on with status quo. But the problem is that we are enabling and teaching that narcissistic individual to keep doing what they're doing because there is no real consequences. Remember, let's go back to the point that narcissistic type individuals like to have attention coming their way. So when you do that, then they get everything that they've always been getting from you. So what I learned to do was to pull my energy back. And what that means is I wasn't mean, I wasn't cruel, I didn't call names, I wasn't walking around like a brat, but I did not invest the same amount of time and energy that I normally would. That is typical Kristen. Because when you're in my circle and when I love you and you're one of my beloved people, you get a lot of me. You get a lot of me wrapping myself and my energy around you and mingling with you. And what I decided was that if this person was not equally feeding that energy with me, then that person was going to get less of my energy. And I started to pull myself back. Again, I would still talk to this person, interact with this person, say what needed to be said, but they didn't get that whole fullness of who I am. And believe it or not, this can often wake a person up. Again, if the narcissist values you at all, this is going to wake them up a little bit because they're going to be like, okay, what I really love about this person, I'm now not getting. And this may or may not start them on the healing path. As you guys can tell on this channel, I'm really funky about the word narcissist because people act like this is a one and done situation, that this person is just an a-hole. It's not going to get any better. This is how it is. And oftentimes this can be the case. So I don't want to discount that because narcissists have an extremely difficult time taking responsibility for their behaviors because they have so much inner shame. But this doesn't mean that we are uber accommodating because they have this inner shame. It means that we have to change up the way we are interacting with them. Because if we keep giving them everything that we are all the time and just sweeping things under the rug continually, there's not going to be any upset in their life. They're not going to have any wake up calls that, hey, I'm not getting what I want from this person. Why is that? Again, consistency is key. I know it's hard. I know there's a lot going on in everybody's lives. I know that to be consistent, sometimes dealing with a narcissist can feel challenging. Like I said, especially if you have children involved in the situation. But what I want to send you is so much love, so much positive energy, so many good vibes, because you are a self-healing powerhouse. You're smart as hell, and you have everything it takes to deal with this type of individual. Don't keep putting yourself through the ringer. You are hurting the most important person in your world. And the more that you allow yourself to spar with and combined energy with a narcissistic type individual, the more depleted you are going to become, and the less that you're going to be able to show up for people who rely on you and need you, such as children or elderly loved ones, or perhaps your work environment. Take care of you. You are your number one priority, not the feelings of this narcissist. Stay strong. Get rooted in your love and respect and protection of self. You're going to be surprised at how that's going to shift your energy from survival mode back into thriving mode. And if you're interested in further information about this and you're ready to start healing even more, then I highly recommend my book, The Recovering People Pleaser, a spiritual guide to reclaim your true worth and attract the love you deserve. When you heal on the inside, y'all, you turn into a better, stronger, more empowered version of yourself, which A, not only attracts better experiences to you, but B, it gives you the strength, the inner strength to respond to the unhealed and narcissistic type people in your life. You can grab that right here, and it will also be in the description below. And until next time, everybody, remember, you have everything you need to heal, and I believe in you.